Alright YouTube, what's going on? It's Hightower5000 here today, bringing you the Ritual of the Mahjarrat Quest guide. The quest requirements for this quest are you must have 76 crafting, 77 agility and 76 mining. You must have also completed Enakhra's Lament, Fairy Tale Part 3, Fight Arena, Hazeel Cult, Rocking Out, the Slug Menace, A Tale of Two Cats, the temple at Senntisten, and also while Guthix sleeps. So the items you'll require for this quest are a Ring of Visibility, which I'll show you how to get in a second, a rope, a spade. Tool belt does not work with the spade. You'll also need to bring a Catspeak Amulet E or Cramulet. I'll show you how to get a Catspeak Amulet in a minute. It's recommended that you bring along an anti-dragon shield, lightweight clothing such as the Wicked Clothes set you get from Runescape. You also want to bring a very strong armour and a very good weapon, as we will need this for boss fights at the end, and we'll also need good food and strong potions such as prayers and overloads. You don't actually have to bring your best combat stuff for the start of the quest though. We will be banking at least twice throughout this quest, if not more, and I will tell you what items you need to withdraw when you need to withdraw them. So if you've lost the Ring of Visibility like me, then you want to make your way to this rough location here. In general, Rasolo is west of the Fishing Guild. He can be in and around this area however. Once you locate him, you want to go ahead and speak with him. You then want to select option number 3, I lost that ring you gave me. And you'll be given another Ring of Visibility. So if you're like me and you need a Catspeak Amulet, what you want to do is go ahead and drop your cat, kitten, whatever on the floor. You then want to go ahead and speak with Sphinx. Select option number 2, do you have a spare amulet of Catspeak? And you'll then be given a Catspeak Amulet. You then want to go ahead and pick up your kitten. So once you're ready, you want to make your way to Sir Tiffy in Falador Park, which is shown on screen. So once you arrive at Sir Tiffy, you want to go ahead and speak with him. Select option number 2, Ritual of the Mahjarrat. You'll then get the quest prompt. You want to go ahead and accept the quest. Select option number 1, I'll get right on it. Select option number 1, yes. You'll then arrive on Mostly Harmless. So you then want to head north, and then there are 2 pubs. You want to enter the pub to the south, which is the larger of the 2. You should then see Sir Tendeath. Go ahead and speak with him. Select option number 1, yes. You'll then go into a cutscene. You then want to go ahead and re-speak to him after the cutscene has finished. So you then want to go outside, and then you just want to go ahead and speak with one of the pirates. From here you then want to head to your east, and beside the water there should be a pirate dressed in blue. You want to go ahead and talk to that specific pirate. Once you've spoke to another pirate, he will tell you that the foes went off into the jungle. So you then want to head up to your north. So this next part is extremely difficult, may take you multiple attempts. You should already have food and good armour on you. You want to go ahead and equip your anti-fire shield as well, that will help things out. Now this here, you need to have auto retaliate off. Again, you should already have that off. Basically what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to go from where we are here over to the east of the island. Now we need to go ahead and use tropical trees as cover. If you don't, and if you're out in the open for too long, then a fireball is going to come from the east from these dragons, which you'll end up seeing when you get over to the east island, and they will knock you back to the gate to the north of Mostly Harmless, and then you'll just have to repeat the process. That's why it is so difficult. So to not get hit by these fireballs, it is quite straightforward. All you want to do is go ahead and hide behind the tropical trees and also the small burnt trees. stuff like ferns or the grass will not work. You need to be behind these big tropical, sort of like palm trees. So what you're really doing in effect is basically moving from behind one tropical tree up to another. All you want to do is go out to a tropical tree, then you want to work out continuing going east, which is the next tropical tree you want to go to, and then make your way up to that. You'll have to do quite a bit of zigzagging. In general though, you don't really go too much more north or south. Maybe go about north or south, maybe 10 tiles, but you just want to basically continue along the straight that I'm on here. If on your mini-map there's an area highlighted in blue, you just want to follow the bottom of that blue area. Now for some odd reason the route you take, it doesn't always consistently work. The fireball that comes towards you, that comes towards you after a random time you've been out in the open. Sometimes I feel it can be 10 seconds, other times it can be 20 seconds. Not at all sure if there's actually a fixed time or if it's just a random time. This causes multiple issues because when you're running from a tree to another tree it does take time. If the time that the fireball is fired is random, then that is going to have a large effect on that and might mean you get reset quicker. One note as well, if you do land up trying to run round to another tropical tree and you can't get behind it, just return to the tropical tree you were at if you can. That's all I can really say on the matter. I wish you the best of luck. This is sort of random and will take you multiple attempts, I can guarantee it, so don't get frustrated and just keep trying until you get it. What you want to do is head past the hut, follow the route that I'm doing, and then you want to start going a little bit to your southeast, and then you'll come across some dragons. When you trigger a cutscene, that is this section complete. You'll then eventually trigger the cutscene when you get far enough east. You then want to continue through the chat. Once you exit out of that cutscene, do note you are safe from the fireballs. So from here we need to return to Sir Tiffy, who is located in Falador Park. The best way of getting there is just by using the Falador lodestone. Once you arrive back at him, you then want to go ahead and re-speak with him. Select option number 2, Ritual of the Mahjarrat. Select option number 1, some kind of dragons. You'll then be taken into this basement. You then want to go ahead and re-speak with him. Lady Table will then join the conversation. Select option number 1, I think I understand the reincarnation bit. Select option number 2, he's reincarnated as a cat. Select option number 1, I think I understand the Stone Toucher part. And then select option number 3, I think it's me. So you then want to enter through the door to your east and then select option number 1, yes, let's go. So for this next part we are going to need our Catspeak Amulet (E). If this is part of your Cramulet currently, then go ahead and disassemble it to get the single Catspeak Amulet. So you then want to go ahead and right click and then open on the Catspeak Amulet. You then want to go ahead and move the whiskers until you land up seeing the eyes glowing white like so. Fortunately for me, it's already glowing white eyes, and that means that the arrow is pointing north. That means Bob the cat is to the north of me. Now this is different for every player unfortunately, so yours might be a total different direction. What you need to do is go in that general direction, so I'm going to go generally north. After about 15 or 20 seconds, I'm going to then go ahead and reopen this and then check this again, see if the direction has changed. I'll continue to do that until I find Bob the cat. So once you locate Bob the cat, go ahead and then speak with him wherever he may be. You'll then ask to borrow his collar. You'll then be given Bob's collar. You then want to go ahead and study this. You then want to rotate round the collar so you've seen the whole collar. So for this next part we need to make our way to Zanaris, which is the fairy city. The items you'll require are Bob's collar, a spade which tool belt doesn't work, a pickaxe which tool belt does work, 8 free inventory slots. You also want to bring some weight reducing clothing such as the Wicked Clothes set from Runescape. This will be to reduce our falling chances in the later stage. You also want to bring some food. Do note before we go into any direct combat we will be going back to the bank to get your armour, so there's no need to bring that now. I'd recommend banking on your way to Zanaris. You may already, however, have all the items on you. If you're unsure how to get to Zanaris, then you want to make your way to the Lumbridge Swamp and to the hut shown on screen. If you are using the hut that I'm using, then you want to go ahead and enter into the hut and then select option number 1, yes, I'll go to Zanaris. So once you're in Zanaris, you want to make your way to the main fairy ring. If you're like me and you've arrived in via the Lumbridge Swamp, then you'll have to go down to your southeast. Once you arrive at the main ring, you then want to go ahead and open up the combination interface. So you then want to go ahead and enter in DIR, that is DIR, and then you want to go ahead and teleport to that location. You then want to go ahead and actually use the fairy ring again. And then you want to go ahead and use it again. You'll get the combination interface up again. This time we want to go ahead and enter the combination AKS, that is AKS, and then go ahead and teleport to this location. So you then want to head to your north into the main building. You then want to go ahead and search the rubble. This is in the central northwestern part of the building, just under a piece of roof beside a wall. You then go ahead and get yourself this, a tetrahedron 4. You then want to go over to your southeast of this building and then you want to climb up the ramp. So you then want to go up to your north and then you want to go ahead and investigate the wall design. As you can see, this is similar to Bob's collar. So this puzzle is incredibly easy. All you want to do is go ahead and maneuver the collar to the location shown on screen. It's in between the center right and the right hand wall design. You can do this by going ahead and navigating the arrows and the rotation buttons at the bottom. Once you have it in place, you then want to go ahead and hit the up arrow once. This will unlock a secret compartment and then will give you some items into your inventory. These are a statue arm, some notes, Terahedron 1 and also Robert's necklace. So you then want to go back to your south and just beside the ramp you should be able to go ahead and jump ledge over to the west. Go ahead and do so. Note if you do fail this you'll have to run back up the ramp and repeat the process until you complete it. So there should then be a statue beside you. You then want to go ahead and use the statue arm on the statue. This will then reveal a fallen spire. You want to go ahead and cross over this. You then want to go down the ladder to your north. So just to your east there should be a wall jump which you can go ahead and run up. Go ahead and do so. You then want to climb up the wall to the west. To your north there should then be a swinging pole. You want to go ahead and swing to this pole. You then want to walk across the beam to your east, and then you want to jump over the gap. So you then want to jump from floor which is to the south. Do not climb down the ladder. You then want to go down that ladder. You then want to go down the ladder just to your south. You then want to go down the ladder just beside you. And then you should be back on the ground. You then want to go ahead and squeeze through the pipe to the east. You then want to go ahead and right click and mine the rocks just to your north. You then want to climb up the wall to your north. You then want to go ahead and run across the wall to the west. Do note, if you do fail either the wall run or the handholds, you then want to go back to the pipe which we went through about a minute ago. So you then want to run across the wall to your west again. You then want to go ahead and climb across the handholds to your west. You then want to go down the ladder. So you then want to go out to your north, and then you want to go along to your east. There should then be some rubble which you want to go ahead and search. You'll then get a strange device in your inventory. You want to go ahead and check output of this. You should also have been given the Tetrahedron 3. So you want to go back over to the ladder we just climbed down. You then want to climb up it, and then you want to climb up the other ladder as well. You then want to jump over the floor to the south. If you do fail this, then you'll have to go back through the pipe, run along the wall again, climb up the ladder, and then jump across the gap. Once you've successfully jumped over the gap, you then want to slide down the roof. You then want to head to the very south, and then you want to go ahead and walk across the plank to the south. Note, if you don't have a spade, there is a spade on the floor. You then want to go ahead and search the rubble. And then from this you should get Tetrahedron 2. So you then want to cross back over the plank. You then want to head a little north, and we would have passed some stairs. You want to go ahead and climb down them. So with the 4 tetrahedrons in your inventory, there are 4 indentations, 2 on the eastern wall and 2 on the western wall. You simply just want to go ahead and use the tetrahedrons on the indentations in the wall. It doesn't matter what order you put them in or anything like that. As long as you go ahead and use all 4 tetrahedrons on the indentations in this room, you will be fine. Once you've used all the tetrahedrons on the indentation, you then want to actually open your quest log. Once you've opened up your quest log, you'll see at the bottom there are 4 letters. These are going to be different for every single player. Mine's are F, A, F, B. So with the 4-letter code that you've got, I'm going to go ahead and put a map on screen. This will show you the rough location you need to go to. All the possibilities should be there. If for some reason yours is not there, then this is quite easy to go ahead and determine where you need to go to. Using the first letter, that will then be your X coordinate. Using your third letter, that will then be your Y coordinate. Your second letter is then your X coordinate in with that tile, and then your fourth letter is your Y coordinate in with that tile. So overall, it should be very easy to go ahead and work out where you need to go to. So now you know where you need to go to. You want to climb up the stairs. You then want to head to your north. You then want to climb up the wall just north of the roof. You then want to go ahead and climb up the ladder. You then want to go ahead and jump from floor. You then want to go ahead and climb down the ladder. If you've actually fallen there, then that might be an advantage. Just beside you, there is an option on the wall to go ahead and climb down. That'll take you down to the ground, or you could do what I did and go along the handholds, and then there'll be another wall you can climb down over there. Just make sure you get down onto the ground. You then want to go ahead and make your way to the location. I have worked out that I need to make my way to this point here. Once you arrive at the point you need to be at, you then want to go ahead and dig with Spade. If you find nothing, then you want to go ahead and move to a tile around you. Eventually you should dig up a key. You then want to make your way back down the stairs. For this you'll have to go back through the pipe and then back round all the obstacles. Once you make it back to the dungeon, you then want to climb down the stairs. You then want to go over and open the door. You'll then enter into the room. So I did this next part in the wrong order. What you want to do is search the southern bookcase for a message book. You want to search the southern bookcase, not the southeastern bookcase, the southern bookcase. This will then give you a book message. You then just want to go ahead and open that up and then read through it. Optionally, you can do what I did first here. You can go ahead and learn another lunar spell, Tune Bane Ore. You'll find this in the southeastern bookshelf. This will be a scroll. When you then read this scroll, this will then become a spell in your lunar spell book. The spell from the southeastern bookcase is optional, however, you do not have to do that. Once you've read through the message book, you then want to climb back up the stairs. So from here we need to return to Sir Tiffy, who is located in the Falador Park. The best way of getting there is using the Falador lodestone. So once you arrive back at Sir Tiffy, you want to go ahead and speak with him. Select option number 2, Ritual of the Mahjarrat. So from here you want to make your way to the White Knight's castle, which is just to our south. Simply from here you want to head in a westerly direction and then go south over the bridge into the castle. Once you're in the castle courtyard, you want to make your way to the east. You then want to go through the double door. You will then see Enakhra say, go ahead and speak with. Select option number 3, so instead you'd risk all our lives. Select option number 1, I can't think of another way. Select option number 2, yes, we'll have to be careful. Select option number 3, I will risk my own life to negotiate. You'll then be given some items. So from here you want to make your way to the dig site, which is to the east of Varrock and is shown on screen. So once you arrive at the dig site, you should then be beside a winch. You then want to go ahead and operate this. This will then take you down into the Senntisten temple. You then want to go south and then enter into the temple. You then want to go ahead and speak with Zanaris. Select option number 1, Ritual of Mahjarrat. You'll then be given some items. So for this next part, we need to make our way up to Gorok, which is to the very north of the map. You can either make your way there by going through the wilderness, or you can do what I'm going to do. You want to teleport yourself to the Fremenic Lodestone. If you've not unlocked that for some reason, then you want to go to Seer Village, and then you want to make your way up there. From there, if you continue north, you'll end up then going into a hunting area. There is then a transportation method along the western shoreline. Airdrolf will be there, and if you've done Olaf's quest, you'll know who he is. That is where we want to go to, and that is shown on screen. So once you arrive at Airdrolf, there should then be a canoe beside him. You want to go ahead and travel in that. You will then arrive near the location we need to be. So from here, you then want to head up to your east. You then want to go ahead and squeeze past the ice block. Now do note on the other side there is steel and iron dragons. Make sure you do not misclick and attack one of these. You then want to make your way to the southern part of the courtyard. You'll then come across a pillar which you want to go ahead and jump over. And then you want to go through the tunnel. So one quick note before we go on to this next section. On this plateau there are some undead broavs. You want to go ahead and avoid these, or you will get thrown into Zamorigil's dungeon. Basically just make sure they don't clock onto you and then touch you. If you do unfortunately get thrown into Zamorigil's dungeon, which is an absolute pain in the arse, it didn't happen to me fortunately however, and I will be telling you how to avoid it. You'll need to escape out of Zamorigil's dungeon, you'll need to search the bed, lift up the tiles to the east of the cell, and then enter through the tunnel to escape. However, I will make sure you don't get caught, so you will be fine. So from here, once you've gone through the tunnel entrance, you want to head to your west. And then you want to start going to your north. You then want to go ahead and use the rope on the overhanging tree which is above the cavern entrance. You then will tie the rope to the tree. So from here we're now going to go ahead and do the beacon. So you just want to head back over to where we just walked along. You'll then land up beside this tree here. You want to go ahead and use a beacon on this tree. And that is the first beacon in place. You then want to head down to your southwest. You should then come across this tree here. This tree will look out of place to the other trees, it's quite obvious. You then want to go ahead and use your beacon on that. From here you need to head directly over to your east. You do need to watch out for the undead broavs though, so I'd recommend actually going north, going along the northern wall, and then going a little bit to your south. And then you should eventually come across this tree here. There are no more trees south of this point, so this is the southmost eastern tree. You then want to go ahead and use a beacon on it. If you do this correctly, it will then say it's directly opposite the beacon to the west. From here you want to continue south, however stay up against the wall. You then want to continue south, sticking towards the wall, continue past Mavario for now. And then you want to head a little bit along to your south. You'll then eventually come across this tree here. This tree is directly south to the northern beacon. You then want to go ahead and use the beacon on this tree. And then if you do this correctly, it should say it is directly opposite the beacon to the north. So from here just to our northeast there are some rocks. These are just south of the ritual marker. We want to go ahead and use Arav's heart on these rocks. And then you'll place the heart into the rocks. So from the rocks you just want to head down to your southwest. You want to go ahead and go along the southern border. You then want to go ahead and kill this armoured zombie. You want to go ahead and equip your weapon to make this much easier. Once that's done, you should get some decoder strips and you should also get a code key main entrance. You want to go ahead and then continue to your west and then you'll arrive at the main entrance. So first thing is you want to go ahead and read the code key. This will then give you 4 letters. Mine's are E, D, C, A. Keeping them letters in mind, you want to go ahead and try and open the main entrance. You'll then get this interface. So your letters are going to be different to mine, but you're going to basically want to do the same thing just with the different letters. So I'm going to take my first decoder strip here, and as my first letter was E, I'm going to put my first decoder strip over E. It's then going to highlight the number 6. So I'm then going to go ahead and click on the first empty digit on the interface, and then I'm going to hit the up arrow until it goes to 6. Now that I've got the 6 in, I'm just going to go ahead and hit the arrow to the right, and that's going to add the 6 in at the top. You then want to go ahead and do the same for the second, third and fourth decoder strips. Do note if you have 2 letters that are the same, you just want to go ahead and swap the decoder strips around and that should reveal a different number. If you do this successfully, you'll get a message in your chat saying you hear the door unlatching. So you then want to go through the door. You then want to head up to your north and then you want to climb up the western staircase. You then want to go south through the hallway and then you want to go ahead and examine Zamoracle and then you want to go ahead and examine Sharath Tier. You then want to climb back down the stairs. You'll then get interrupted by Zamoracle. You then want to continue down the stairs. Directly to your east there are 2 crates. You want to go over to them. You then want to go ahead and search the one to the south, closer to the weapon rack. You'll then land up finding another key code. This one is for the storeroom. Go ahead and read and memorise this. Again, it might be helpful to write it down. You then want to try and open the door to the room to the west. Again, we'll have to go ahead and do the same thing we just did to get into this building by using the decoder strips. Once you unlock the door, you want to go through it. You then want to go through the door to the north. You then want to go ahead and search the crates in this room. You'll then find a code key and some notes in the crate. You then want to go ahead and read the heart magic notes. These are the notes we just obtained. So you then want to go back out into the main hallway. And this time you want to go ahead and climb up the stairs to the east. You then want to go ahead and read the latest code key we got. This should be for the reliquary. Go ahead and memorise this and or write this down. You then want to go ahead and try open the door to your east. Again, do the same process as last time. Once you unlock the door, you want to go through the door. You then want to smash the black stone to the south of the room. So you then want to exit out of this room. And you then want to climb down the stairs. You then want to leave the building. Earlier on we would have seen Mevario to our east. You then want to go ahead and return and speak with him. Select option number 1, so you're still working for Lucien. Select option number 1, what are you doing up here? So you then want to go ahead and wear your Ring of Visibility. To your west and a little bit south, there should now be a shadow pedestal. You want to go ahead and investigate this. So from here we need to go back north through the tunnel entrance back into the temple. Again, you want to go around the plateau as you can still get affected by the undead Broav. Once you make it back round, you want to go through the tunnel. You then want to jump over the pillar. You then want to go north. We then need to make our way into the trapdoor, so you want to climb up the staircase just to your west. You then want to head over to your east, and then you want to climb down the staircase. You then want to go ahead and scale the damaged wall. You then want to run round to the northwestern tower. And then you want to climb the smashed rampart. You then want to enter through the trapdoor. Once you land up in here, you'll start getting attacked. You want to head through to the western room and then head south. Once you get down here, you should see a heat globe on the floor. You want to go ahead and pick that up. You then want to head back up to your north. And then you want to go to your east and then climb the stairs. You then want to scale the damaged wall to your west. You then want to head round to the east of the building. You then want to climb the smashed rampart again. You then want to climb up the stairs. You then want to go over to the southwestern tower. You then want to climb down those stairs. You then want to run south through the arch, and then you want to go ahead and jump over the pillar again. You then want to enter through the tunnel again. So from here we need to return down to the pedestal at the south of the plateau. Again, I'd recommend going around the plateau. Once you arrive back round at the pedestal, you want to go ahead and use the heat globe on this. And then this will reveal an entrance to the cave. Now, if for some reason when you try to put the heat globe on the pedestal and it says that could be a good idea, but you've got other things to do first, this means you've done something wrong with the beacons, or you've gone ahead and placed Arav's heart in the wrong place, or you've not spoke to Mevario and selected the options which I told you to. If you're unsure about your error, it actually does say in the quest log, and all of this should be crossed out. If one of it's not, then go ahead and complete the corresponding tasks. So before we actually go through the entrance, we're going to have to go to the bank and get ourselves some items, because we're about to go into combat situations. So once you arrive at the bank, the items you want to keep in your inventory are a Ring of Visibility, the 3 notes, the strange device, the necklace, the teleorbs and the message. Bar that, it is then up to you what you bring along. So there are going to be 4 fights coming up. These 4 fights vary in difficulty. Overall the first 2 are quite easy, the last one's not too bad, the third one is exceptionally difficult. Fortunately we can go ahead and leave after every single fight to go back to the bank and get food and more supplies. Now you'll be killing a combination of different things. You'll be killing some ice titans, you'll be killing a general, you'll be killing some zombies, so there's no actual particular combat style which aids all of them. That is why you want to go ahead and go with your strongest combat style. I'm going to go with melee. It is sometimes actually useful in some of the fights you bring 2 combat styles. For example, I was using a melee setup, but I also brought along a crossbow as well. I will leave that up to you. I'm going with a bandos setup with some gloves, boots, a ring. I've got a Sardamonin sword. I've also got my Vampirism aura and a 99 cape. So from that you can tell it's a strong setup. It's not an overly powered setup, but it is a good setup nonetheless. I wouldn't really recommend bringing anything along weaker. Items for your inventory, you want to bring a lot of food. Maybe bringing Sardamonin potions and super restores is not too bad an idea. You also want to bring a prayer system as well. We're going to be praying in every single fight, so you want to bring at least 1 prayer potion and at least 1 prayer renewal. You want to bring an emergency teleport as there's no way to leave the plateau when you get up there, so make sure you bring an emergency teleport. You can also bring along an overload. Overload doesn't really matter actually because you do get a boost when you're up there, so you can bring overloads and supers if you want to, but again I'll leave that up to you. So the final thing is familiars. If you are going to bring along a familiar, then you can only use it in the first 3 fights. In the 4th fight there's currently an ongoing glitch where you can't have it because it disrupts one of the cutscenes and basically makes everything go void. So you can use it with the first 3 fights. It's probably recommended in the 3rd fight actually, just because the 3rd fight is so difficult. All you'd want to do is go ahead and put food in it. But when we get to the 3rd fight we will discuss that because that is an extremely difficult fight. Anyway, once you're ready you want to make your way back to Erdjolf, who is to the north of Relica and is shown on screen. Once you arrive back at Erdjolf you want to go ahead and travel in the canoe beside him. Once you arrive in the Gorok area, you then want to go over to the cave entrance. Remember now there is a rope behind that which you can go ahead and use to climb up. So for this we need to head down to the south of the plateau. Again, be aware of the undead Broavs. You then want to make your way back down to the pedestal. Once you arrive back at the cave entrance, you want to go ahead and equip the Ring of Visibility. You then want to enter the cave entrance just to the south of this. You then want to select option number 1, yes, I'm ready. So once you arrive in this cave here, you want to head south and then eventually we should come across the Stone of Jas. Once you reach this, you want to go ahead and touch it. This will then trigger a cutscene. You'll then go into a cutscene. To skip through this, you just want to go ahead and hit the escape button. When you get to some dialogue, you just want to continue through it. When you get the option, select option number 1, yes. Our first fight is going to be with General Khazard. This is a very easy fight. You're going to want to pray, protect from magic. As soon as you get in, you want to go ahead and activate that prayer. You also want to go ahead and activate anything else that you will be using to your advantage, such as overloads or supersets and or auras. All you want to do is focus on General Khazard. You don't need to focus on anything else. One thing that can happen if the fight goes on for a wee while, however, a ghost hellhound can appear. All you'd want to do is go ahead and lure that over to the west where everyone is standing, and then that will get dealt with, and then you can go back ahead and deal with General Khazard. For me, that didn't spawn, so I just went ahead and killed General Khazard anyway. Overall, this shouldn't take you too long to do. So you'll then go into another cutscene, you then want to continue through the dialogue. So eventually loads of ice titans will then spawn, and we'll now be into our second fight. So do note you have some helpers, they will do a wee bit of damage but not too much, it's mainly all on you. So you want to go ahead and protect from melee for this primarily. You can go ahead and use Soul Split, I use that towards the end actually, just because they really don't hit that high at all, to be honest. The only thing you do need to watch out for is Lucien. As you can see there, he is firing this black skull sort of dust at you. This will then launch towards you every 10 seconds or so. You need to move out the way, and you need to move out with the 2 tile radius around it to not get hit by this. This is the thing that will cause us the most damage throughout the next 3 fights, so do be aware of it. You want to just keep hot on your toes. Best thing I'd recommend doing is go ahead and maybe getting about 2 or 3 hits into the Ice Titans and everything from here on out, and then going ahead and moving away. Either go ahead and attack another Ice Titan or wait for it to follow you, simple as. Anyway, to summarise, all you want to do is kill all the Ice Titans, and then that'll trigger another cutscene before we move on to the third fight. So you'll eventually come to the end of that second fight, you'll then trigger another cutscene. We're about to go into the third fight. The third fight is by far the hardest fight. What's going to happen is 20 ice demons are going to spawn. You're going to want to protect from magic for this. Now the ice demons either have a really high defense or they're glitched, not really at all sure, but they are very difficult to kill. I'll show you a tactic how to kill. Again, you get support from your other NPCs, but they're not too much help. You will primarily have to do it all yourself. So the ice demons have some special attacks. They have icicles, they'll throw icicles at you and they will trap you in a certain area. It's kind of similar to the ones when you're doing dungeon eating and you're doing some of the bosses there. Also don't want to attack Lucien, as that will cause many problems. Again, you want to avoid his smoking black skull special attack. That is the most frustrating thing, as I said, throughout these fights. You can get double hit here, and this is the thing you'll have to watch out. So you can get trapped by the icicles, and then you can get hit by Lucien's skull attack. That will drain a lot of hit points. If you do know that's about to happen, it might actually be a good idea to go ahead and eat some food. You can break out of the icicles, however it is kind of difficult sometimes, just because at times there are so many icicles around you, there's just no way out. After about 10 seconds I believe the icicles disappear and you'll be able to walk free. The best tactic is to keep on your toes, so you just want to get 2 or 3 hits then move on, simple as. Now the tactic for this, well, as you can see there are 20 ice demons. Now 20 ice demons all attacking you at once, that's going to be quite a big problem. So what you want to do is you want to go to the north of the arena and slowly you'll drag some over. That'll maybe only drag 2 or 3 over at a time. You then want to go ahead and just kill them 2 or 3, and you want to go back up onto the main plateau, bring 2 or 3 back over, so on and so forth. It took me about 4 different attempts to do this actually. Originally I was just trying to run around the statue in the middle, getting a few hits and moving on to the next ice team, and that really doesn't work just because you're getting drained so much because you're getting attacked by like 10 at once. where this way you're only getting attacked by 2 and the black skill, as you can see, incoming there. So it's not too bad. Once you get them right down to roughly where I am standing right now, it'll be really easy to go ahead and kill them. The time you go ahead and kill them, they'll usually be about 1 or 2 dead by the statue, so all in all you really only have to kill probably about 10, and then the other ones, if there are still any left, will be incredibly weak, so you can just go ahead and hit them. Overall, this is actually quite easy once you know the tactic of how to do it. I don't actually end up using too much food in the end, but if you decide to do it another way, it might be extremely difficult. Do note as well that if you continue south from where I am right now, you can actually go ahead and trap them in that area because they will get stuck on one of the rocks, I believe. So just in case you want to go ahead and bring them all down and then trap some down there and then go round to them later on. That's what I tried at one attempt. Unfortunately, I got 5 of them trapped in there, so it didn't really help me out. The final thing to note is there's no way to leave this plateau, so if you die, you die. That's it, unfortunately. You will just get taken up to death where you get the option to buy back all your items. Anyway, I wish you the best of luck. It shouldn't be too bad if you do this tactic by dragging a few away, but it is the best tactic I feel. So once you've finally done that fight, you'll go into another cutscene, continue through the chat. Now this one here, we're going to have to kill armed zombies at the start, and then you need to wait for Arav to appear. Make sure you have any familiars dismissed at this stage because this will cause this to glitch. So as soon as the fight starts, you want to go ahead and take anything out from the familiar and then dismiss it. When Arav appears, you then want to go ahead and attack him, and then you want to go ahead and wait until he follows you. Then you want to lure him down to where his heart is in the rocks. That is just to the south, and as you can see is on the right of my screen right now. So I believe the best thing you want to protect from here is melee, so go ahead and do that. Again, continue to watch out for Lucien's spell. Eventually you will get interrupted. Then eventually Arav will turn up. So if you remember what I said, you want to go ahead and attack Arav. Now instantly he isn't going to follow you until you've done a wee bit of damage into him. Again, you need to watch out for Lucien's attack. So eventually, after a while, Arav will then start to follow you. All you want to do is simply lead him over to where you stored the heart. So it's just the rock just to the south of Lucien and the statue. You want to make sure he is right up against the rock, i.e. right beside the tile of the rock, like so. And then eventually, once you've led him around the rock a bit, you will then interrupt and start saying my heart. At this stage, you don't need to go ahead and attack him. He's going to be occupied. This next part is really odd actually. You just want to continue to move around so you don't get hit. And it's just a bit of waiting really. All the NPCs are going to do the fighting for you, and then Arav's going to start to react. You just want to leave everything alone and just avoid the attack from Lucien. Eventually, after 30 seconds, Zamoragul will then start talking again. So for this next part, we're going to need 4 free inventory slots. If you don't have that, then go ahead and make room. So once all that talking's over, there will be 4 beacon parts to your south. These are identified by red dots on the map. Go ahead and pick all of these up and place them into your inventory. You then want to go ahead and assemble them. That should give you 1 beacon in your inventory. You then want to go over to the original tree it was in. This is the tree just to your south and then a little bit west of the statue. You then want to go ahead and use the beacon on this tree, and then you'll get a cutscene. You'll then get asked to focus on a number. I'm just going to select option number 1. It's up to you what number you choose. So once you arrive in Draenor Village and you exit out of the cutscene, you want to continue up to your north. After that, you want to head west along the corridor. You want to make your way eventually through to the Draenor Market. That should then trigger another part of the cutscene. and then eventually you'll finish RuneScape 3 the movie. Once you've done that, you want to go ahead and speak with Sir Tiffy, who should be right beside you. Select option number 2, Ritual of the Mahjarrat. And there we go, that is the quest complete. So congratulations, you've completed Ritual of the Mahjarrat. You're awarded with 3 quest points, 3 80,000 XP lamps, a 40,000 XP lamp in crafting, mining. You're also given 110k in agility. You're also given the ability to use new Barrow's equipment, mine Bane ore, cast tune Bane ore, and Storm of Armadil. Make Bane projectiles and Armadil battle staffs. Fight Glaciers and a new Barrow's brother, and gain a combat boost in certain areas. You're also given 2 treasure hunter keys. Thank you very much for watching this quest guide. Please leave a like rating. This video has taken me a very long time to make. I hope it has been very useful to you. Go down into the description below and check out my social media links. Go ahead and follow me on Facebook and Twitter. Go down into the comment section below and suggest another guide that you want me to make. Maybe it's not a quest guide, but go ahead and tell me what you need help with and I will answer your prayers. Also go down into the description below and check out my other quest series playlists, where I'm sure I'll be able to help you out with another quest. And that is all for this video, so please subscribe if you've not already, leave a like rating, as it did take me an exceptionally long time to make this video and I think it is justified. It'll also help the video and the channel grow. And that is all, so thank you very much for watching. My name is HighTower5000 and I'm out. Adios.